Russian army created 3 tactical groups of 50 soldiers each for sabotage operations in Pokrovsk. The goal was to create panic and force units to flee the city, similar to what happened in Saboteurs. The route from Saboteurs to Pokrovsk took the Saboteurs a total of 14 days. They took 4 days to reach the industrial area in Pishchany and 10 days to get from Pishchany to Ukrainian Defender Street in Pokrovsk. In this way, the enemy infantry hoped to avoid detection by advancing only 600 meters a day. Communication, water, and food were provided via drones. This ensured good coordination among the groups, and everyone was kept informed. They used camouflage cloaks and hid in random shelters. The saboteurs had trackers for the routes they were supposed to follow. While a Russian army drone was conducting reconnaissance in the area, artillery units of Ukraine's 66th Mechanized Brigade once again demonstrated the power of operational intelligence and instant information. As soon as critical intelligence about the movements of Russian forces on the front line came in, Ukrainian artillery launched a coordinated and devastating attack. The target was a Russian infantry group of approximately 150 people planning to infiltrate Pokrovsk to carry out sabotage acts. Ukrainian artillery did much more than a traditional attack. With pinpoint coordinates from advanced tracking systems and drone spotters, they targeted the entire enemy detachment in a single strike. The fire mission was so effective that the entire Russian unit was neutralized instantly. As a result of this attack, approximately 120 of the 150 Russian soldiers who set out were killed. A small remaining group of soldiers managed to infiltrate Pokrovsk despite these shocking losses and began to carry out sabotage acts. However, this group's end was also near. Ukrainian forces continued their operations, forcing some saboteurs to surrender this week. The remnants of the group are still being actively pursued. This operation was a striking example of how effective the Ukrainian army is not only in defense, but also in preventing and destroying enemy tactical maneuvers. Ukrainian army artillery units, expertly using their 152mm 2A65 Meste howitzer, stopped the Russian advance with pinpoint strikes on coordinates provided by FPV drone operators. The Air Force was next. Targets were identified, intelligence was shared, and a new phase of the operation began. 1.2 soldiers from the 2nd Paratrooper Battalion of Ukraine's 25th Airborne Brigade were on a critical defensive mission on the front. A Russian counterattack had created serious problems for Ukrainian forces in the area, with Russian soldiers quickly advancing and taking shelter in some buildings. However, this situation quickly turned into a trap for the Russians. Ukrainian reconnaissance and FPV drone operators instantly identified the buildings where the enemy was hiding and reported the coordinates to higher command. Based on this information, the Ukrainian Air Force's legendary MiG-29s, known by the call sign Sicario, were ready for a heavy bombardment mission. These planes became deadly shadows for the enemy. The ensuing air attack was a complete disaster for the enemy. The MiG-29s targeted the buildings where the Russian invaders and their ammunition were hiding one by one. With the impact of high-precision munitions, the buildings were destroyed along with all the elements inside. This Russian operation failed to achieve its goal, but Ukraine's powerful response from the air shifted the balance on the front back in its favor. Friends, if you, like us, want Ukraine to win, write Slava Ukraine in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications as we continue to provide the latest news. Upon intelligence that Russian soldiers were hiding in a cellar in the occupied Pokrovsk area, Ukrainian forces took action. The operation had to be carried out very quietly. Explosives were prepared, a device was set up without the people in the cellar even knowing, and the invaders were blown up. Mission accomplished. Russian drone sent to monitor the operation in the area was caught by Ukrainian operators who decided to play a trick on it. Without the enemy drone operator noticing, they approached from behind and expertly neutralized the Russian drone with a skillful maneuver. The Ukrainian operators won the drone-on-drone collision. FPV operators also managed to spot and destroy an unmanned ground vehicle carrying ammunition and equipment for soldiers on a sabotage mission along the Pokrovsk road. The Russian army, learning of their saboteurs' failure, sent its special motorcycle unit, a force that had recently caused heavy losses for the Ukrainian army, to rescue the remaining soldiers and intimidate Ukrainian forces. This agile and dangerous unit was known for its surprise attacks and was a major threat to the Ukrainian defense. 25 Russian motorcyclists quickly and discreetly entered the strategic Ukrainian-controlled town of Torska. Their goal was to launch a large-scale, coordinated attack to create chaos in the area. However, their devious plan did not escape the vigilant eyes of Ukraine's 63rd Motorized Rifle Brigade. While the Russian motorcyclists were making their final preparations for the attack, they were ambushed by units from the 63rd Brigade. The Ukrainian soldiers took action before the enemy could attack, catching them off guard. The entire Russian unit was completely destroyed in a devastating attack without being able to fire a single shot. This operation was a critical example of how not only a motorcycle unit, but also the Russian army's rescue and assault plan failed at the entrance to Torska. Skies over Crimea, one of the systems the Russian invaders considered the most important part of their air defense shield, took an unexpected hit. Ukraine's military intelligence, GUR, launched an attack against one of the enemy's most valuable assets. The target was the highly sensitive Yenisei radar, part of Russia's most advanced air defense system, the S-500 Prometey complex. This radar, with its ability to detect not only aircraft but also ballistic missiles and hypersonic weapons, was the eyes and brain of Russia's air defense. The primary system locked onto its target after weeks of meticulous surveillance and planning. The most critical point of this defense system, which the enemy considered impregnable, the Yenisei radar, was hit in a sudden and deadly strike. This operation deep in Crimea not only destroyed a radar, but also proved that Russia's newest air defense technology is vulnerable. This attack created a large gap in the Russian air defense network and became a symbol of Ukraine's tactical intelligence and technological superiority. In the center of Pokrovsk, the 425th OSH Skala unit, which was hunting Russian assassins, captured 32 invaders in 1 week. The largest group among them was caught in the center of Pokrovsk, the main target of the saboteurs. In just 1 week, soldiers of the 425th Regiment captured 32 invaders in different areas. The captured Russian soldiers usually say they don't want to fight, that their commanders abandoned them, and that they are very scared. One Russian soldier we spoke to said, "From a group of 8, I am the only one who made it to this point. I saw my friends get blown to pieces. Some ran away, and they are still not showing up." Another captured soldier said, "I went to the military commissariat and had to sign this contract to get my driver's license back." Another soldier stated, "They forced me to sign the contract for a week. During this time, I was in a detention center. When we were in prison, we didn't regret making this choice for a single moment. They told us that all of you are crappy people," he explained. In the active front lines of the Donetsk region, a Russian vehicle carrying soldiers became a high-priority target for Ukrainian forces. The Ram-2X loitering munition, a kamikaze drone that performs its duty without being caught by traditional weapons, began loitering over the target. With the detection of the vehicle, the Ram-2X locked onto its target like a hunter. With a high-speed dive, it destroyed the Russian vehicle along with the soldiers inside, dealing another blow to the enemy's mobility on the front. In the Zaporizhia direction, Ukrainian forces are using HIMARS and reconnaissance drones to destroy Russian targets. Guided by unmanned aerial vehicles, HIMARS is conducting pinpoint strikes on enemy shelters and equipment on the rear front. Sursky. Thanks to the coordinated and professional combat work of all components of the Ukrainian Defense Forces, 8 soldiers and a hidden headquarters sent by the Russian army for sabotage acts on Ukrainian territory were destroyed by FPV drones in the villages of Novokran, Udachny, Stefova, Novoselivka, and Troitsky. They ran, but they could not escape from the Ukrainian army. Today, the invisible heroes of the front, the Ukrainian intelligence units, prepared an unforgettable gift for the invading Russian army. After a long period of meticulous surveillance and coordination, the operation was launched. This was not just an attack, it was a strategic blow to the enemy's nervous system. The experienced MiG-29 crew of the Ukrainian Air Force took to the skies with new generation AASM Hammer, high-precision munitions. The target was a series of critical points that would paralyze all of the enemy's senses on the battlefield. The Russian army's communication stations, antennas, reconnaissance and surveillance equipment, electronic warfare, REB systems, and a few invading soldiers. This precise air attack carried out by the MiG-29s destroyed the targets one by one, completely eliminating the enemy's ability to coordinate. Every success on the front is possible with accurate information and tactical intelligence. That is why the real heroes of this operation are the intelligence officers working in the depths of danger. Without them, everything would be ruined. A huge thank you to our brave Cossack intelligence officers who allow us to stand on this land. Deep inside Ukrainian territory, a Russian sabotage unit was hiding like a phantom, waiting for an opportunity to carry out sabotage acts. The remaining 12 soldiers had built shelters and positions for themselves and were aiming to create chaos behind the Ukrainian lines. This invisible threat could not be easily detected by traditional defense methods and posed a great danger. However, the nature of war had changed, and a new generation of hunters emerged to counter this hidden threat: Ukrainian FPV drone operators. Their eyes in the sky had the ability to reveal even the most well-hidden enemy locations. The operators launched a methodical hunt that lasted for hours. Camouflage shelters and enemy positions could not escape the thermal and optical sensors of the drones. The sabotage unit was hunted down one by one with the deadly precision of FPV drones before they could even take action. The drones dove at high speeds toward their targets, destroying the shelters along with the soldiers inside. This operation not only resulted in the elimination of 12 soldiers, but also completely ended the enemy's plans to carry out sabotage in the inner regions of Ukraine. This was a striking example of how technological superiority in modern warfare can eliminate even the most well-hidden threats. In the Sumy region, a North Korean 140mm mortar was destroyed by our FPV pilots. This rare technical equipment, acquired by the Russians from North Korea, will now be on the enemy's list of losses. According to Russian sources, such supplies are part of an expanded military partnership between Moscow and Pyongyang. Nevertheless, regardless of its origin or rarity, any enemy equipment will be turned into scrap. Putin is closing today with a loss of both millions of dollars and a significant loss of prestige. Pokrovsk front, the Corsair unit of Ukraine's 38th Marine Brigade detected a Russian BM-21 Grad multiple launch rocket system, which posed a major threat to the front line and civilian settlements. The Corsair unit took immediate action, targeting the enemy's destructive artillery system. With a precise operation, the Grad was destroyed, eliminating a major threat in the region. Deep in Ukrainian territory, a Russian sabotage unit, waiting for an opportunity to carry out sabotage acts, believed they were safe in the bunker they had built in the Pokrovsk area. However, this location, which they thought was very well hidden, did not escape the sharp eyes of the soldiers of the 2nd Paratrooper Battalion of the 25th Separate Airborne Brigade. When the Ukrainian soldiers discovered the enemy's hiding place, they used a masterfully prepared homemade explosive device to destroy the enemy along with the soldiers inside. This clever operation ended the sabotage unit's plans before they could even begin. In the Lyman direction, the Signum Battalion of the Ukrainian army, using fiber-optic FPV drones, struck 3 D-20 artillery pieces hidden by the Russian army. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. This way you won't miss any critical news and you'll be the first to access the latest footage from the front lines. We will continue to show the real face of war, sharing truths from the field instead of propaganda. Your support is very valuable to us. See you in the next video. Slava Ukraina, Heriam Slava.